Hello, beloveds, and welcome to another episode of Spiritual Connection. My name is Sunshine Daye, and what a joy it is to greet you on this day and to talk about radiant living. As we're coming to an end of 2023 and beginning 2024, many people take this time to start some New Year's resolutions and to really begin to look at their lives in ways that they haven't looked at before. What I've noticed is that by the time February and March come around, these things have faded away, and people have made some drastic decisions about their lives that they're not able to keep up with. So I want to talk about radiant living today because in an effort to be rid of the things that no longer serve us and actually create the life that we crave, whether people are in recovery from drugs and alcohol or stress or drama, or whether they're looking just to live a more spiritual and wholesome life, many people around this time of year begin to think that getting rid of people, the people that are drama filled and that don't do the things that they think are the things that people should be doing in ways that they should be living, like being alienated from people, that's the way to go. And what I'd like to suggest and take a look at is that, yes, I want to create the life that I crave. And sometimes there are people around me that don't necessarily resonate with that life that I crave. And it's also important to recognize that people are not disposable and that kindness is our superpower. Now, for me, I tend to think that kindness is a language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Because kindness is an act that comes from within that is loving and compassionate. And yet, in me being kind with myself, I know that I don't want to put myself in situations that bring up anxiety and stress and disdain and disgust and those feelings of that I frankly don't even like. And what I hear a lot of people talk about is cutting off those people. And so I want to remind us that even though we are living in a society and in a world that is clouded with a lot of noise and distraction, we must remember the power of kindness. And so in the next few minutes of being together, I just want to take a look at what that might look like and encourage us that like one of my mentors and favorite teachers, Michael Bernard Beckwith, one of the things that I got from him is that when we make a decision to be kind, that it ignites these qualities of love and compassion and understanding within me. And one of the great things about being a spiritual being and having this human experience is that love and kindness and compassion, having this understanding is what makes us so divinely human. And that I never want to discard or throw away people in my life, because what I know and what I believe so deeply is that deep down within every person is that spark of life that is grand divine creative spirit and intelligence, that each of us are the unique, unrepeatable, magnificent way that spirit shows up in human form. And if this is true for me and this is true for each and every one of us, when I discard people as if they are disposable, I am discarding spirit, God, essence, that flow. And so making a conscious decision to still continue to create the life that I crave does not mean that I get to be unkind to the people that are living and being in my vicinity and in my life. But I get to align myself with the forces of love and compassion and understanding and allow these qualities to guide my interactions. How would you like it if people just cut you off? And maybe you've been cut off. And if you can reflect on that moment in time, like I remember one time I was trying to get sober, and I kept relapsing and relapsing and relapsing. And someone who I considered a friend stopped talking to me. And she stopped talking to me for almost a year until I got sober. So once I got a year of sobriety, then this person kind of came back in my life. And I didn't know well enough then because I was still so in my fog and so much in the throes of my addiction and getting sober. However, I knew that I felt some kind of way about that. I didn't feel good, like, oh, I'm not good enough to be around you, or oh, I have to perform and be this person for you to actually accept me into your life. And I get it. I get it that I might have been a trigger for that person, that my going in and out, going in and out, going in and out, drinking, not drinking, staying sober, not staying sober, might have been a trigger for this individual. And yet, I wonder what life would be like for me if I didn't have that experience, or even how that experience helped to shape and form what I think and feel today. Today I want to make conscious decisions to be kind, to be courteous, not from a place of weakness, because what we know for sure is that sometimes our kindness can be taken for weakness, or that sometimes we can overextend our boundaries. And one of the downfalls, of course, of kindness can be a tendency to overextend myself, or you might tend to overextend yourself and constantly put the needs of other people before your own needs. And of course, this leads to burnout and it leads to exhaustion. And, that's why we get so exhausted around people that can be so trying for us. Or, kindness might be misinterpreted as um, uh, vulnerability, or people might take advantage of us, and being consistently kind without discernment can make us very vulnerable to people who might want to take advantage of us. As a matter of fact, acts of kindness for some people might create unrealistic expectations that we're always going to say yes to their beck and call or their needs. And it might lead to disappointment when we do have a boundary for ourselves and say no. So besides, the one that I already mentioned of being perceived as weak, it might be perceived as weakness rather than strength. And some individuals might want to exploit that because they might perceive us as being super kind or super vulnerable or super, super weak. But it's important to emphasize that as we practice kindness with awareness and discernment, that kindness is actually a powerful force where we are allowing grace, and we are granting grace through our kindness to people that might be difficult to deal with, and that might not be in alignment with our own values and our own needs. I know that during the holiday season, of course, right? Long lines, people wanting to grab the last toys on the shelf, and granting kindness and being kind to people, especially in troublesome situations, is always a superpower. It's always nice to be that beacon of kindness in a world that is filled with anxiety and stress, where it's filled sometimes with people that are being unkind or not even aware that other people exist around them. I'm reminded of the words of Ernest Holmes, where he says, change your thinking, change your life. And as we navigate our lives towards the life we crave, especially in 2024, when I look at what I want to accomplish, how I want to be, how I want to show up in 2024, I want to cultivate a focus that nurtures my dreams and my desires and that helps to move me forward. And I want to channel my energy into these thoughts that are moving me forward and that help to move other people forward. So one of the things that I'm going to focus on this year, especially for 2024 and the end of 2023, is being kind to myself, being kind with others, and creating the life that I crave. And that in my passion and in my goal and in my focus to create the life that I crave, that I don't have to be unkind to others. And so I'm encouraging each and every one of us that as we begin to navigate the end of 2023, the beginning of 2024, that instead of setting some unrealistic goals for ourselves, that we begin by looking at kindness and compassion and how we are together. Because for me, at least, how we are together is way different than what we do together. When I am received with kindness and with love and compassion, I know that it helps to ignite something within me. And that something within me is co-creating a life that I crave. And it is indeed beautiful to experience. So, beloveds, as you take a look for yourself, I encourage you to look at how you can still continue to live your life, to be on point, to be on purpose, to create the life that you crave, whether it's sobriety, spirituality, whether it is love, whether it's abundance and peace and joy, and that we do that being kind with one another. It might seem very virtuous, but in fact, it can be just very, very simple. Imagine that kindness is simple. I'm going to begin to imagine that and to tell myself that being kind is a simple act. It's not some courageous act, that it is indeed something that comes easily and effortlessly from me to you. So, beloveds, as we continue to celebrate the holidays, if you do that, and celebrate the year end and bringing in the new year, may kindness be upon you. May the kindness of others inspire you. May your kindness inspire others. And may we begin to co-create the life that we crave in kindness. For this and so much more, I am grateful. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until the next time, be kind with and to one another. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Vida Spiritual Connection. Use the links in the description for prayer requests, to donate to Vida Spiritual Learning Center, and to join our mailing list. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you can visit us at vidaslc.org for more information.